Okay, so we're going to run through how to apply for or renew a blue badge. Now, the stream capture device I'm using is a free one, so it's not got the highest resolution. So hopefully I'll redo this video with better resolution at some point, but hopefully you should be able to see pretty much most of what we're doing here. So go to Google, type in blue badge. It doesn't matter what browser you use. The top one will always be apply for or renew a blue badge, gov.uk. So that's the one you're looking for. Click on that and you'll come through to this screen, which will tell you everything that you need to get a blue badge. Now, it says here that in England it costs £10 to claim for the blue badge, whereas in Scotland it's £20. In Wales it's free. Now what you'll need before you even start is a digital photo showing your head and shoulders. That's usually pretty easy to do these days using a mobile phone. You'll also need proof of identity, proof of address, and proof of your benefits. You'll also need to know your national insurance number, and if you already have a blue badge and you're trying to renew it, you'll need your blue badge. So once you've got all your things together that you need, you click Start Now. Quick tip: if you can't find your national insurance number, usually, if you're receiving some sort of benefit payment, particularly if you're over pension age, the benefit payment will have the national insurance number used as a reference on your bank statement. So if you can't find with your national insurance number on, check your bank statement because it may well be in there. So click Start Now, which is there, and you'll get taken through to the blue badge service. Now if you're applying for someone else, you can use this, but most likely you're going to be clicking this one, which is applying for myself. So the first thing you need to do is enter your postcode. In this case I'm popping in my postcode there. What that will do is basically tell you your local issuing authority. So for me it's Worcestershire County Council. Do you already have a blue badge? We're going to assume no for today. If you do already have a blue badge, the process is very much similar, but a lot more simple. So do you receive any of these benefits? Now this is quite important. If you are on personal independence payment or disability living allowance and you're receiving the mobility component of either of these benefits, then it's quite likely that you're going to Now if you're over 65 and receiving attendance allowance, it doesn't have a mobility payment as part of the benefit, so there's no assessment of your mobility outside of the home. That happens in the process of the application. So if you have one of these, as I say, if you have the mobility component of one of these, then click one of those two things. Equally, a pensioner might have received something as part of the War Pensioners Mobility Supplement. I mean, they don't have to be a pensioner to receive this, and again the same with the Armed Forces Compensation Scheme. It may well be that you've been assessed, you know, if you've lost a limb or suffered a while in the services, you may have received some form of compensation, and they will have done an assessment then on your mobility supplement. But so for today, we're going to say none of these benefits. But just to quickly show, if you've got PIP, you will have received a assessment summary when they awarded your benefits to you. If you received 12, 10 or 8 points on the mobility section, then all you're going to have to do is click this, and all you're going to need to do is scan or take a photo of your PIP or award letter along with your identity and the proof of your address. So that's quite simple. Again, the same applies with disability living allowance. Did you get the higher rate? Yes. Then again, you'll do the same. If you get the lower rate, then you're going to have to go through it as if you got none of these benefits. So, what is the main reason you need a blue badge? If you're severely sight impaired, this again works the same as having the PIP award for mobility. The reason being that if you are registered as sight impaired or severely sight impaired, you will have received what's known as a CVI, or Certificate of Visual Impairment, and again that works the same as the PIP award or the DLA award, in that you would just need to copy that and send it through. So most people will be looking at the second one. I have a permanent disability, which means I cannot walk or find walking very difficult. The next one down, I have a terminal illness, have been issued with the DS-1500 form. The doctor has said that you have a very short period of time to live. Then you can possibly get them to issue a DS-1500 form. It's very difficult to get this to happen these days. Doctors don't like to do this unless they are very, very certain that someone isn't going to live very long. But again, this works like the CVI or the PIP award. If you have it, then it makes the application quite easy. You may have a severe disability in both arms and drive, but can't operate pay and display parking machine. And here, if you have a child under 3 that has a disability or health problem and needs bulky medical equipment, or it needs to be near a vehicle to receive or be taken for treatment. So like I say, most likely you're going to pick this one, which is I have permanent disability, which means I cannot walk or find walking very difficult. Now remember, that can include pretty much any type of disability. So it could be breathing difficulties, could be a heart problem, could be a dementia that causes spatial awareness problems or difficulty moving, or even that somebody is likely to wander off without sort of supervision if they're not supervised the entire time that they're out, something like that. So it's not just, you know, oh, I've got a bad hip sort of thing. It's also many other conditions that can impact your walking. So the next question is, what makes walking difficult for you? I cannot walk without help from someone or using walking aids. So that can be anything, a walking stick. It may be that you should be using a walking aid but refuse to for some reason. But yeah, that's, like I say, could really be anything. I find walking very difficult due to pain, breathlessness, or the time it takes. So it might be that you could benefit from walking aid, as I say, but you choose not to. But because of that, it makes it very difficult, or takes a long time. Maybe you have to stop and rest. Walking is dangerous to my health and safety, so this may be related to the dementia side of things, spatial awareness, could be Parkinson's, things like that, which cause freezing or falling. You may have epilepsy, possibly. Could be any of these things. So, but we're going to assume that you're an older person and you're walking with a stick. So it will ask you then for all the same things as under the PIP version of it: proof of your ID, proof of your address, and any documents related to your condition. So it's also asking with this one diagnosis letters or hospital correspondence, reports, anything like that. And then again, the information about national insurance contact details and so on. And it's also requesting any information you have about any mobility aids or any medication that you might take for your condition. So this is quite important. And any information about any treatments for your condition that you may have had. Could be surgery, could be physio, could be anything. So again, assuming you've got all of that to hand, click on Start. So you've done the eligibility section, and here you've got listed all the other sections. Click on the first one at the top. What's your name? So type in your name at the top. Has your name changed since birth? Let's assume Joe's always been called Joe. Date of birth. So we'll put in 30th of the 4th, 1939. So what's your gender? We'll say male. National insurance number. So actually put it in without the spaces. So you just type in your national insurance number there. I've just made one up. Building and street. So type in where you live. Simple enough. Town and city. Worcester. So again, more contact details. So you would put your email address in there, your main phone number, whatever that would be, an alternative phone number. So that might be your mobile number. Let's just take that out for now. Not quite sure what I did there. So describe your walking ability. That's the next section. So this is very important, really. This is where you're going to get over all of the information that you need to about how your walking condition affects you. So it might be that, as I say, you have epilepsy, or could be that you've had or need a hip operation or a knee replacement. Could be that you have a heart condition and you get very breathless. Any of these things. So what is best to do is here is sort of say something along the lines of, I have a severe heart condition that causes me to get very out of breath as I walk. I also have a bad hip from arthritis, which is very painful, but I cannot have a hip replacement as my heart is too weak for the surgery. So that gives a quick overview of what your conditions are and what possible treatment you may or may not be having. And obviously a hip operation might significantly improve someone's walking ability, but if they have a heart condition or they're quite elderly and frail, doctor might have said, well, actually we don't think it's a good idea to do that kind of surgery. You may not survive the anaesthetic. So yeah, that just covers that. Or it could be anything else, as long as you put that detail in. Then the next paragraph, try and be a bit more specific about the actual details. So say, 50 meters, and then I need to stop and rest. I have to use a walking stick and I have a lot of difficulty going up and down any kind of stairs. When I get in and out of a chair, I often need to have assistance to do this. So that might be what you would write, just to give a bit more detail on the actual difficulties that you're having. So one thing to bear in mind is also the pain levels. To take any painkillers. So once you've typed in what you need, just hit continue. How do your health conditions make your walking difficult for you? So you can just be more specific here. It entirely just depends on what's going out. If you click something else, then you can put it in there. So it might be, for example, that you also have to take an oxygen tank wherever you go, and you find it very difficult to carry the thing. So, you know, it could be anything. When do you get breathless? So it's asking you, if you get breathlessness, when does that occur? Is it when you're walking up a slight hill, trying to keep up with others on level ground, walking on level ground at your own pace, or getting dressed or trying to leave my home? So it may well be all of these, and that's absolutely fine. You can tick all four. It might just be this one. It might be a combination. It doesn't matter. Whatever's the truth, that's what you put in. And again, you can add some bits there. Sorry, I forgot to tick it, didn't I? Donut. Anyway, do you have help to get around? So it may well be that you use a walking stick, as I said. So click yes, add a mobility aid, say walking stick, and when do you use it? Anytime outside the home. How did you get it? You may have bought it privately, that's absolutely fine. And then carry on. Next page. Obviously, if you've got more mobility aids that you use, list those. Might be you use a wheelchair, maybe a walker, maybe a walking frame, you know, all these kind of things. So, how long can you walk for using a mobility aid without stopping? I can't walk at all. less than a minute, a few minutes, doesn't mean that you won't get it, but it does mean that actually your walking maybe isn't as bad as you think it is. So let's go for less than a minute. So you be able to walk to the shop just down the road from you. I mean, there is literally a shop a minute's walk from my front door, so this is quite accurate. And there are days, because I have walking difficulty, in 1 minute, just as I say. But then there are other days where it takes me 10 minutes to get there, kind of thing, because I'm in a lot of pain and I'm having to use my walking stick. So even though the distance is very short, the length of time it takes me to cover it is important, sort of thing. So if from you, they could see on Google Maps, well, that's 100 yards away, that'll take them about a minute to walk at normal speed, sort of thing, maybe 30 seconds. If someone's then put, well, it takes me 10 minutes, then obviously they've got a problem. So you've described your walking ability, and it takes you back here. So add your supporting documents. Excellent. Any prescriptions, diagnosis letters, or correspondence from the GPs, hospitals, or healthcare professionals. Appointment letters only really prove that you've had an appointment for currently seeing somebody about your hip operation that's coming up or whatever it is. But generally speaking, if you have recurring appointments with a specialist over a long period of time, there's no need to upload all of those appointment letters, sort of thing. That the main thing that they want to see here is any reports, such as a diagnosis letter that says, yes, this person has this condition and this is what we are or aren't doing about it. Prescriptions are useful because that will show any medication that you're taking, like if you've got a heart condition or epilepsy or whatever it is, that'll all be listed on your prescription. It's usually best to take a copy of the actual prescription you get from your GP, and because that's got all the information on the front of the prescription that's needed. So click yes, and you'll get an upload from this computer box, and then you can easily click on it, and depending on the speed of your PC, a little box will open, and just waiting for that thing to disappear. Now, as it is, I'm not going to add anything. List medication. Do you take any medication? Now, you've already uploaded the things, so there may be some medication on there that you don't want to list here, things that just aren't relevant to your walking condition. Things that are relevant that people don't often think about: if you have any creams or things like that you have to apply to stop any soreness that you get when you're walking, or skin ulcers, things like that, that also counts. So add this kind of thing to here. So you would add the medication, name of the medication, tramadol, let's say. Has it been prescribed for you? Yes. How much do you take at a time? 50 milligrams. How often do you take this? 3 times a day. Add this medication, and there it is, pops in. So they can see, you've obviously taken tramadol. List treatments. Again, are you having any treatments? So maybe you're having physiotherapy. Again, you add the treatment, describe what it is. Let's say it's ongoing. Let's say every 2 weeks. add that treatment, physiotherapy, ongoing every 2 weeks. Lovely. And then you go to continue and carry it on. List healthcare professionals. So this is quite important. Obviously here you need to add the name of your GP, for example. Let's say Dr. Smith, and let's say Hesfield Surgery, Worcester. So that gives them, obviously they can Google Hesfield Surgery in Worcester and find it sort of straight away, and then contact Dr. Smith should they need to. And again, if you've got any specialists, you would list those in the same way. So prove identity. So again, you need to upload some pictures here, which you then upload from the computer. The photo page of your passport, your birth or adoption certificate, your driving license, or your marriage, civil partnership, divorce or dissolution certificate. Obviously the best thing is the passport or the driving license. Birth certificate is good. If you can do a scan or a photo, most phones can do a pretty good photo. Just make sure nothing else is in the background when you're doing a photo from your phone. And then, like I say, you just upload, you pick the file, and that's fine. So you need to, I think I'll need to upload something to be able to carry on here. Let's open a picture of a spaniel and proof address. Again, pretty simple. Recent council tax bill, driving license. We'll upload something from here. Let's have a spirally staircase, and we'll continue. So as I say, once you've as you can see, sorry, what you can see there will be what's uploaded, and then you add a photo of yourself. So the photo is brilliant. If you're working with older people and you know, getting them down the post office to sit in a booth and take photos of them is very difficult, especially for someone with dementia. So as much as possible, as plain a background as possible, and yeah, upload a picture. That's ish. I'll do for now. There's me, and yeah. So you do the declaration part, which basically says that you read and understand the rules for using the blue badge. Now, I'm not going to go into those rules at the moment, save to say that the blue badge is yours. It's no one else's. So when you're using your blue badge, it's any car that you are in, you can use the blue badge. It's not specific to a car, but it is specific to you. So no one can use the blue badge without you in the vehicle. So those are the main things to bear in mind. You also agree that you're going to get in touch with the local issuing authority, which in this case is Worcestershire County Council, to say, well, actually, you know, suddenly I've got better. I don't need the badge in anymore, and you'll give it back to them. So also, you're saying as well that you're quite happy that if there are any issues with the application, that they can get in touch with you and arrange maybe to speak to you on the phone or in person. You agree for them to check any eligibility you've got, and so on and so forth. So yes, obviously I just had to pop and answer the phone for a second there. So as I say, this page, you agree to all of this, tick the box and click continue. So when it comes to the end, you then submit the application, and that's all fairly self-explanatory. So the whole thing is pretty much finished there. As I say, it's a fairly simple process to go through, but obviously preparation is key. So make sure you've got everything you need beforehand: national insurance number, medical evidence, proof of your benefits if you have PIP, or proof of any disabilities or health problems that you might have, and make sure you've got all your ID documents and your address documents, and then you're good to go, really. And actually, it probably shouldn't take you too long to get through it. I mean, I've rattled through it in less than half an hour, but all told, if you're doing this for somebody or for yourself, and you have a few health problems, it shouldn't take more than an hour. And just take your time with it. You know, you can leave this open on your screen for a while. It's not going to go anywhere. If you've done half of it and then you think, oh no, I can't find my passport or whatever, that's absolutely fine. Just leave it on the screen and pick it up later. So yeah, there you go. That's the blue badge, all told. So like, share, comment, please, and subscribe as well for more information about different things in the future.